Hi architects, I hope you're not too affected by this coronavirus. Today I choose to make a tutorial to help you drawing on Illustrator, because I think that this period, if you are in good health, is a kind of opportunity for us to learn new things. And as you may have noticed, many architects are using illustration now for their renderings. If you already know me, you also know that it's not the first time I put this video on the channel, but in fact I've improved it. It's shorter, and you will find the different parts of this video in the description, because my advice here is to do the drawing in different steps, to take your time to learn all the tools that I will talk about, to take your time to learn how to use Illustrator to be able to make a drawing. If you have a question about this tutorial, don't hesitate to leave a comment. Don't hesitate to tell me if you like this kind of tutorial, so I will make other ones. So let's start Illustrator. So today we're gonna draw this picture. It's the Villa Savoye by Le Corbusier, and you can find this picture on Google. So we open Illustrator and we're gonna create a new document. I would rather choose the print version of the document and then this size, but you can choose another size. Horizontal. Okay. I remind you that in Illustrator, to zoom in or zoom out, you use the roll of the mouse plus the touch Alt, like this. Then we're gonna take the picture of Villa Savoye and drop in here. We're gonna resize it. You click on the coin and then on Shift to resize this picture proportionally. As you can see, it's not really sized to the dimensions of our document, but doesn't matter. Okay, this picture is here now. We need to change its transparency. It will be easier to draw on this picture. And we change it here. You can see that the picture is becoming more and more transparent. Okay, I'm gonna choose this. And this picture is in layer 1. If you want to avoid moving this picture, you have to lock it. And to lock it, you just click here. So now we can draw on this picture and it won't move. We're gonna create a new layer in which we will draw the building. So we will rename our layer now. That's it. We click on the layer so that when we draw, all the lines will be in the layer. Don't forget it, to click on the good layer. It will be important when we are gonna have more layers, and we are gonna choose this tool, the paintbrush. I recommend you to practice a little bit to see how it works with your mouse. But you can see that the lines are adapted, and that is really interesting. But for the vertical lines, it's still hard to draw them without any guides. But just try to draw like this to exercise. Okay. The lines are too big, aren't they? So to change their thickness, we go here, and you can see that it's 1 point. We're gonna change to this. It's better. But I'm gonna delete them because it was just a test. Okay, For the vertical lines, if you want them to be straight, you can still use a paintbrush, but before drawing, click on Shift and you will see that the line is now straight. I recommend you to draw the line longer than in the picture. You will see later why I'm doing this, but it will save your time. Then for the rounded part of the picture, I recommend you to draw yourself. It will give a drawing effect, a hand drawing effect to this. If you use too much of straight lines, you will lose this effect. Okay, then for the horizontal line, you will see that the line will be adapted as I told you. But if you want to draw straight lines, if you want to be precise, I recommend you to do the same thing as I did for the vertical line. So you click on Shift. Oops, sorry. You draw a straight line, and then we're gonna use the rotation tool. You click on the basis of your line and drop the line where you want it. Okay. You will slightly move this, and that's it. And if you want to duplicate a line, you click on this, you click on Alt, and you drop it. And then I will use again the rotation tool to move my line. And that's it. I've told you all that you needed to draw this building. I'm gonna draw it in front of you so that you can see how I do. Now I'm gonna show you why I've told you to draw the line longer than they are on the drawing. Just here, the intersection is not really clear, so with the white arrow I'm gonna move this point, double clicking on it, and as you can see, this is a curve. It's why this is this particular line, and to change the curve of a line, you just have to click on this. Also here, and that's it. Okay, we don't need the original picture. We're gonna select all the lines and then use a precious tool which is called the shape builder, and this shape builder permits to delete all the line that we want to delete. You will see. So if you want to delete a line or a shape, anything, you have to click on Alt and then go here. You see? Sometimes you have to click on the line more precisely, but most of the time it's working. For example, this, I want to delete them. I want to delete this, and your drawing will be cleaned. Okay, so that's it. I'll let you do the same thing with your drawing. I'm gonna fast the video at this point. So now we are gonna add some colors to the building. But first of all, we have this shape which is not closed, so we're gonna close it just like that. We use the shape builder as I showed you. Okay, that's it. So we're gonna see what kind of color are on the picture. For this, we're gonna change the transparency. And to take the picture, to take the colors that are on the picture, we're gonna use this tool. So for example, if I click here, you can see that the color appears just here. If I click here, it's more white. White, it's kind of black, gray here. If I click here, I have the color of the grass, the colors of the trees, of the sky. So what we're gonna do to be organized is that we're gonna use this function, which is the swatches, which are the swatches. And you can see here that there are already colors that are ready to use. But we're gonna create a folder here where we're gonna put all our colors. Okay, so I can take this color, for example, I drop it in my folder just here. You're gonna see that we are gonna save time with this method. Oh, here. I can choose the color of this. Okay. Now we can come back . Okay, lock the picture. That's it. So we're gonna use again the shape builder, because the shape builder permits to delete line, but also to create new shapes. First, I will choose a color here. I click here to choose my color, the color of the interior of the shape. Here it's the color of the contour. So I'm gonna start with this part. If you remember, this part is with this color. Okay, that's it. So I select all the building, click on the shape builder, and this is not working. Anyway, if I click on that, I just have to choose my color and that's it. You see? And I'm gonna do the same things for other shapes. Okay. We can select this shape here, this shape also. Anyway, you can change the color, so it's not really important to have the good color at the beginning. Okay. Now I choose this one, and in the swatches it was like this. And if you want a shape to have the same characteristic as another shape, again you use this tool. You select all your shapes, and with the tools you select the shape that you want to copy. And that's it. Okay, we're gonna do this thing for all the building, but first I want to share with you how to make a gradient, because maybe you have noticed on the picture that on this shape, for example, there is a light gradient because the shape is rounded. So to make a gradient, I'm going to create a shape with a shape builder again, but here you select the shape and you see you have this tool to make gradient. I click on this and automatically there is a gradient which is created in the shape. I can reverse the sense of a gradient, and to choose the color here, I double click on the circle and I will choose this one, for example. That's good. And you just have to move this to change the position of the colors. You see? Okay, and it's the same thing for this shape. So what we're gonna do is here. So I'm gonna continue adding colors to all the model. I'm gonna make the video faster, but one detail about the shape builder. If you want to add a color within a shape, it's really important that the shape has to be closed. So if one time, for example, you're using the shape builder and it doesn't want to add the color in the shape, it means that the lines are not really closed, and you have to zoom on a particular part to see if, for example, a line is too short. It's why I've told you at the beginning to draw the line longer and then to use the shape builder to make shapes closed. You see, I'm not really convinced with the color like this, so I'm gonna make some changes. To make some changes, you select your shape and you see here that you have the color, the actual color. If you double click, you will be able to change it, like on Photoshop. And I'm gonna use colors that are more gray than blue. Same thing here. That seems more realistic. Now what we are going to do is that we are going to draw all that is inside the building. So for this, I'm going to change the transparency of the drawing. Okay. We are still working in this layer. And what we're going to make is that we're going to select our color from the picture, and we're going to use another tool, which is this one. And thanks to this selection, I'm going to be able to draw a new shape here, which will have the same color. So I draw it, but I'm not satisfied with the color. Again, it's too blue. Okay. And you can make the same thing here, for example. Oops. You see there is a little problem. Let's use the shape builder because the shape is already here. Okay. And we have another shapes which have the same color quite. Okay. I can use the shape builder also for all these. Okay. Here. As you can see, I make things more simple than on the original picture. What I will do with all these, by the way, I will change their transparency. a little bit. Okay. We continue. Now there is other forms here, and I just repeat the same things that I did. Okay. Okay, but when we redraw some shapes, they appear in front of the previous ones. So what we're going to do is that we're going to select all our shape, and with a right click we can choose the shapes to be under the other. That's it. And we have the same problem here. If you look after the original picture, you can see that we made a mistake. We forgot some shadows around the windows and on the ground. So what we're gonna do is that we are gonna fix it. First of all, let's draw on the original picture. We're gonna draw the lines. Here, check this. Here, check the properties. You don't need any color for the interior of a shape. So click on that, and we need a contour, so that's fine. Okay, there is first shadow, just here. Then there is another one. Now, let's put this layer here in front of building, and we have our shapes. We're gonna adapt these shapes a little bit with the white arrow, as you can see. Now we're gonna select all the shape from this layer, and we're gonna put, and just unlock the layer building, and we're gonna put these shapes in the layer building. Okay, that's it. We don't need this layer anymore, so we put it in the dustbin. And with the shape builder, we're gonna correct. First, we need the color, of course. Okay, we will change this after. Anyway, we're gonna select this area, and with the shape builder, you see, we can change the color. The color is too blue. Let's make it more gray. Okay. And then we do the same thing here. Okay, let's make this part of walls darker, even darker, like this. Okay, and that's it. We have corrected the mistake with the shadows. So now we're gonna draw the trees. To draw the trees, first we are gonna create a new layer, trees. Then we lock buildings to have more comfort. We use the paintbrush, and redraw the contour as precisely as you can. That's it. Then we're gonna make a straight line just here to close the shape, as I've told you. Another straight line here. Oops. That's it. And what we're gonna do is that we are gonna redraw to have an independent shape, because when you have seen that when we use the shape builder, it uses the existent line, and these lines belongs to building, and we don't want this line to belong also to the trees. We want the layer, we want the trees, all the objects which are in this layer, to be independent. So we have to redraw. Let's make it. Let's see if we draw it good. Yes, that's fine. This area and these others. Let's make the same thing on the other part. Okay, that's good. Now let's use the shape builder to clean a little bit. That's it. I'm gonna make a group with all these shapes. So Ctrl G. And then we're gonna use a gradient. To use a gradient, just enter the group, select all their shape, click on gradient and click on this. Okay. To change the direction of a gradient, you click here. And you see I can decide what is the direction of my gradient, but this is the opposite. And if you remember, I just want to show you why I'm doing this. I'm doing this gradient because I've noticed that here there is a dark part in the trees and the light part. So let's come back. If you want, we want to change the gradient, it's here. So let's make it like this. Okay. Or maybe like this. We don't need to be exactly like on the picture. Yes, that's good. Okay, you're gonna select the colors here. If you remember, the color were like this and the darker color was this. But you see, these colors are not really brilliant. I don't really like them. So I'm not gonna do something realistic. Maybe we can keep this, but we're gonna use something more green. Yes, maybe like this. Then I don't want contour, so because it's ugly. Okay, you see there is no more contour to the shapes, and also it's too dark, so we are gonna change the transparency. I think that's fine. And what is interesting in Illustrator is that you can apply some effects, and we're gonna apply a special effect. You go here. It's like the same effect on Photoshop, you see? So you click on the gallery. And we're gonna choose this one. And I like it because it's quite realistic. It can represent well the trees, in my opinion. And you can change the option here if you want. Yes, it's better. Let's make this. Okay, that's fine. That's it. So let's see the result. It's still dark, I think. Let's change again the transparency. And I forgot something. You see, there is some trees here also. So to make the sky, we have to draw the line here of the contour. We're gonna use the line of the trees, and we are gonna redraw these lines to avoid any confusion between the objects that are in the layer building and the sky, which will be in another layer. Okay, then we're gonna add a gradient. So let's start.
Okay, to draw the grass, we are gonna make the same things we did for the trees. So we are gonna redraw the areas where there is grass with the pen tool, without forgetting the shadow here. Then with all these areas objects, we are gonna make a group, and we're gonna apply two effects, three, yes. Gradient, then the same effect we did on the trees, plus another effect. So let's start.
Okay, so we have finished the drawing. Now we're gonna export our drawing in PNG or JPEG. So you go to File, Export. You choose the destination, of course, and you can see here that you can choose PNG or JPEG or whatever format you want. So I'm gonna choose PNG. Choose a title also. And I recommend you to check this and to use the artboard, because if you don't check this, it will export your drawing but not in the good size. So when you check this, it will respect the size of your artboard. Then you can choose the quality of your picture, if you want it a medium or a high quality, depending on the use of the picture. You can choose also the color background, and that's it. It is in the folder. As you can see, you have the title you choose, followed by the title of your artboard. So in this case it was artboard 1.